So new Pokemon Snap came out last week, and I've been having a pretty solid time with it. I never played the original, so I didn't know exactly what to expect. But honestly, it's a pretty solid game. I still don't know if I personally feel it's worth $60 to me, but I haven't played through the entire game just yet, so maybe that opinion will change. With that said, I think there are some notes Game Freak could take from Bandai Namco with this long-awaited spin-off. I'm sure you guessed that was what I was getting at. You clicked on the video. Now, I do want to clarify that I am not saying the next gen of Pokemon should be exactly like Pokemon Snap, as it is mostly a linear and straightforward experience. But what I am saying is that there were some amazing things Bandai Namco did with the Pokemon Snap formula, and that taking inspiration from them is not the worst idea in the world. So in this video, I'll be discussing Sword and Shield and those games' missteps, and what they can do for future titles to give us the ultimate Pokemon games. So sit back and hear me out as I preach to you about video games. So let me get one thing out of the way. I actually like Sword and Shield. They were not perfect games by any means, but they were undoubtedly good games. Let's be honest, the negative feedback for Sword and Shield really didn't go full swing until after they said no Nat Dex at E3. The initial reveal for Sword and Shield was overwhelmingly positive, even after the big shakeup. Also, sales numbers and critic reviews will tell you this as well, but despite the vocal minority insisting the contrary, people seem to like Generation 8. But I will admit, sales and positive reviews from game critics are not everything. I'm sure there are some people out there that saw the trailers, listened to the reviews, thought they'd still give the games a shot, and came out disappointed. But I still believe that is a minority of people that bought the games. I could go on all day back and forth about the opinions of other people on why they liked or disliked Sword and Shield, but this is my video, so I'm going to talk about my opinion. So I will start with the positives and then move into the cons. Don't worry Nat Dexers, there will be some cons, so if you haven't already clicked off the video or started telling me how awful I am in the comment section, just wait for it. Anyways, positives about Sword and Shield. The gameplay is truly the finest it has ever been. Things are just no longer grindy or hard on the player for no reason. I mean, getting competitively built Pokemon is literally the easiest it's ever been. Want to go the breeding route? Go ahead, as that's been streamlined a bunch. But how about that random shiny that has terrible IVs that you love to take into battle? Well, that's no issue either. We've got egg moves that can be passed through parents now, bottle caps from the previous generations, mints to change the nature, and a streamlined way of getting those perfect EVs and consuming many vitamins at once, and so on. It literally has never been easier becoming a Pokemon master. Also, another random tweak, did you somehow accidentally level up your Pokemon to level 100 and didn't evolve it? Well, no worries. Simply giving it a rare candy will now trigger the evolution. Such a random yet appreciated feature. Now, all of that is fine and dandy, but what about people that only want to play the main story? What was made better for them? Well, dear commenter, I'll tell you. For starters, the music is some of the best in the series. You cannot tell me that Slumbering Weald isn't one of the best tracks in the entire series. I'm not saying it has to be your favorite, but if you don't like it, I'm simply telling you your opinion is wrong, and you should feel bad about it. What else is there? Oh yeah, the characters are also some of the best in the series. Practically all of them are bursting with personality, in addition to the great designs they sport. Also, when it comes to the gyms, having the giant stadiums instead of just regular dinky gyms was just great. Pokemon battles have always been depicted as grand and amazing looking, so it's great they extended that to the gyms. Finally, the greatest additions of all, raid battles and EXP candies. You all know my stance by now. I don't really care for Dynamax, but the idea of battling a boss Pokemon with your friends and getting loot at the end of said battle is just perfection, and some of those pieces of loot were the EXP candies. Sure, you might have to engage in a potentially long battle to get them, but that reward is so worth it. Long gone are the days of needing to grind levels, as the mini-sized candies will give you anywhere from 100 to 30,000 experience. Perfection. However, the buck stops there, as most other things about the games left a lot to be desired. Pokemon games have become increasingly more linear as the years have passed on, and that's a disappointment to say the least. I'm not saying the games need to be completely open-ended, but having even just a smidge of variation in how people play would have been greatly appreciated. Even just playing the gyms in different orders would have been enough. I mean, even Let's Go let you play like 4 or 5 of the gyms in any order you wanted. And the story? What story? I love a solid story in a Pokemon game, but this was just not it. Even just a few side quests with a little more exposition on Rose's motives and discovering the truth about Zacian and Zamazenta would have made it serviceable. It ultimately ended up just feeling like an afterthought so they could focus on gameplay, which is fine, I suppose, but like I said, just 2 or 3 side quests and it would have been fine. Then there's the wild area. See, ultimately speaking, the wild area was a fun concept. A nice open world area inside of a Pokemon game. It's what so many people have waited for, but there's just zero variation besides weather and a small desert. This idea was greatly improved upon with the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra DLC, as those places are some of the best looking areas we've gotten in any game. But it shouldn't have needed to be the DLC. Not saying DLC isn't appreciated, as I'd much prefer DLC as opposed to a third version. But one of the big selling points for Sword and Shield was the wild area. So to get it, be amazed for like half an hour, and then to be bored, was kind of saddening. And you can't forget about the tree. Well, I'm just half joking about that. Although I will say, texture quality was lacking in several areas, so that should definitely be improved upon. So where does new Pokemon Snap fit into all of this? Well, while opinions on art style is very subjective, it is a fact that the new Pokemon Snap is one of the most graphically impressive games, if not the most graphically impressive game in the series. However, to give credit to the developers at Game Freak, it is much easier to create a super impressive world when you can only travel it in an on-the-rails fashion. But again, improving texture quality and variations in the world should definitely be something that gets a bit more focus. Some screenshots of Legends Arceus makes it seem like they're definitely making an attempt there. But I have to reserve judgment for now, as it wouldn't be fair to say anything about a game that's about a year out, and we've only seen like 2 minutes of footage from. But it goes beyond that. Of course, everyone would love to see more flair with the Pokemon in the wild. All the different interactions in new Pokemon Snap is just whimsical. Seeing these Pokemon really being alive is just amazing to see, so it would be amazing if those kinds of depth animations carried over to any of the next mainline games. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and act like the people that said Game Freak lied about new animations, as so many things about those statements were taken out of context from a language that is pretty much only understandable when you have context. I'm not a game developer, so I'm not going to pretend I know anything about the process. If you do want more information on the process though, check out my video from 2 years ago where I talk about this in length, as it has commentary on this from people more knowledgeable than you or I, actual game developers. With that said though, I think if they continue to use the Sword and Shield engine for Legends Arceus or Generation 9, it should be much simpler to use the existing models and rigs, thus allowing Creatures Inc. and Game Freak to focus on more exciting animations in the future. 2 more things any future game could take inspiration from new Pokemon Snap in are its approach to side quests and how the world changes as you level up. Let's first start with the side quests. As you progress through the game, requests are added to Lentalk, and it's extremely simple. The characters in-game want a picture of a specific Pokemon action or encounter, or they want you to investigate a noise coming from a specific part of the level and report back to them with a picture of the Pokemon making that noise. It's good fun and encourages further exploration of the game. You might not be able to travel anywhere, but it gives you that incentive to try something and experience something new. Game Freak has done a handful of side quests similar in nature to this in the Alola games, Let's Go, and Sword and Shield, but most of them didn't really feel rewarding or encouraged exploration of their worlds. So, an example of how this could be implemented in future Pokemon games. Residents are having their food stolen, and they believe a Pokemon is responsible for the deed, and they ask you to investigate it. You gradually find clues about where the Pokemon is located until you eventually run into a giant Snorlax in the overworld. There, you engage in a much tougher boss battle. Once the Pokemon is defeated or captured, the townspeople come and retrieve their food and give you a nice sum of money or some kind of rare item that's normally hard to get in-game. Even just something as simple as that would greatly improve the RPG elements of Pokemon and make them worth coming back to over and over again. Finally, let's talk about the world changes as you progress. In new Pokemon Snap, you gain a type of experience point for the picture you take that ultimately level up the entire area you're exploring. This includes large amounts of Pokemon spawning, as well as new Pokemon, making the area feel completely different from when you first visited it. A system like this could greatly improve the mainline series, though it would have to be done in a bit of a different way. Perhaps instead of the area leveling up, you, the trainer, are the one leveling up. Maybe as you earn badges and battle other trainers and wild Pokemon in the region, you gain some sort of protagonist XP, which changes the world you see. Perhaps it's something as simple as stronger Pokemon appearing in the wild with chances at good IVs or unique moves. Or perhaps it's something more along the lines of opening up new areas to explore. Or maybe it could even have benefits to veteran players. Oh, you're taking on the second gym as a level 10 trainer instead of level 8? Well, now the gym leader has better AI and maybe some competitive items on their Pokemon. Things like these would really change Pokemon for the better in my opinion. And I think Game Freak should for sure take some cues from other developers, as new Pokemon Snap has shown that even just little tweaks to an existing formula can create such a fantastic experience that will keep people wanting more. Well, that's going to do it for this video. Tell me, what'd you all think? I know it took me a bit to get to the Pokemon Snap section, but I did kind of need to go over what Game Freak has gotten right, and what they've missed the mark on, in my opinion of course. But I really do think new Pokemon Snap could be a precursor of better things to come for Pokemon. I really think Game Freak is trying hard to constantly evolve the series, but when you're a smaller company on a tight schedule, that can be hard. But at this rate, Gen 9 will come out in 2023, which would be the first 4-year cycle since the original Diamond and Pearl games. So while it might be a bit early to tell, especially since we don't even know much about Legends Arceus, I think we'll be in for a bit of a surprise a few years from now. So with that said, thank you to everyone for watching the video. Huge thanks to my phenomenal team and the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all this without them. If you all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too, as it really helps us out. I also do other content on my Twitch, where I stream Genshin Impact, Mystic Zora, where I do Pokemon Let's Plays and other gaming content, and of course MysticSage, where I do all anime content. Right now, I'm focusing on Inuyasha and Yashahime, so if you're interested in that, be sure to check it out. If you'd like to support me even further than that, check out my Patreon. Whether it's a $1 tip to get early thumbnail access, or the $10 tier to get cool perler bead charms and a shout out. There's tons of reasons to join today. These lovely people did, and I thank them all so much for their support. It really means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mr. Umbreon, and I will see you all next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.